Broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network. The bandwidth for this episode of Gun Guy Radio is sponsored by Patriot Patch Company. PatriotPatch.co.
Welcome to episode 219 of Gun Guy Radio. This is a podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Jake Challen, with co-host Zach Carlson. This is your weekly dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Hey, Zach, what's up?
Not too bad, not too much. So it's been so long that you forgot how to pronounce my last name, basically.
Well, I mispronounce my last name every other time, so it's par for the course.
I think we did the math just a little bit ago. I think it's been about 5 months.
I had a pretty idealistic expectations of how smooth this cross-country move would go and how smooth everything building out the shop and studio would go.
Yeah, I mean, they do it on HGTV in like a weekend, so...
I know, right? And
yeah.
I don't have nearly as interesting careers as those people do, though.
Yeah, I mean, if those flipping shows can do it, I mean, you could do it.
I know, right?
You're doing like a live-in, never flip.
Yeah, that's about right.
As long as you don't turn into one of those flip or flop shows, I guess.
Well, it's like, so I'm remodeling the house and trying to build out the shop at the same time and do, the day-to-day business stuff I have to do and day-to-day family stuff, and it's just insane. It's like,
and you're doing the majority of this yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm everything by myself so far. I mean, my wife helped me put the ceiling up, but other than that,
but like even just those walls that you're putting up, even those sheets of OSB, that's like what, 30 pounds? Was it 7/16 probably? Like the thinner?
No, they're like 55 pounds a piece.
Oh, yeah. So like doing that, trying to align it, keep it square on the stud and screw it in before it falls on your face. I could not even imagine. Cause like we just did our garage that way and Ashley helped hold everything and, give me a screwdriver when I need it, kind of thing. And I don't know how you do it yourself.
Well, you remember building out the old studio in Illinois. You helped me put that ceiling up in the middle of winter. Yeah.
And it was comedically bad.
It was awful. It was really bad.
I remember trying to hold that up while you get the screws, and it just never seemed to hit the right stud. Oh, man, it was terrible. But use all that experience on somebody else's property then, and you could bring that into your property and do it right the next time.
Yeah. It's like never, like doing it right is only on TV. It's like getting it done the best way you can is more like it.
We should do like everybody else does and get a contractor's license and then do it to somebody else's house first. And then when they chase you out of town, then you just cancel your license and go back to your house and finish it.
Right. I don't think that's how it works. So anyways, did you do anything guns this week, this summer?
Oh, I live guns. It's a little overwhelming actually. This summer, oh yeah, wow. Well, we have too much. We'll probably break up what really the high points in big shows, but yeah. I've really kind of gone off the deep end on buying suppressors and doing suppressor stuff.
I noticed that you look like an arms dealer on Instagram. You got like suitcases of suppressors.
Well, it was a little ridiculous trying to get all the suppressors out, like if you leave them in the boxes. So we had to put them in like a double pistol case and lay them all out. I think there was probably 7 or 8 rimfire cans there. And what starts off as like a good idea, like, oh, I'd like to see what the quietest 22 can is or something like that. And then you pitch it as an article and they're like, oh yeah, that's good. So like, oh, now you're locked in. So then you got to start getting all the suppressors. Then you got to do all the work and then you have to buy more guns to fill out all the suppressors because you can't just have suppressors just sit on the shelf. You got to have guns underneath them all. So it gets a little out of hand. But the downfall for me was being introduced to the Silencer Shop kiosk. Are you familiar with the Silencer Shop kiosk?
I haven't seen it in person, but yeah, I'm familiar. Why don't you fill in people?
Essentially what Silencer Shop has done is kind of Amazon of silencer purchasing. And what they do is, the hardest part when you buy a suppressor and you're doing the Form 4, the paperwork you have to send to the ATF and wait forever and all that, you need photographs taken. and you need fingerprint cards done. And the fingerprint cards can only typically be done by somebody qualified. So you typically, like I would typically go to the local jail or the sheriff's office, and they would take your fingerprints and print them on the cards, and you get duplicates and all that stuff. And you send all the paperwork off. You got to send a copy to your local law enforcement. You got to send a copy into the ATF. It's like a whole rigmarole to do this, right? And you send them a check for $200. Then you wait like a year. And with Silencer Shop, what you do is you do basically everything online, except for participating dealers have a kiosk. And it's literally a kiosk with like a touch screen. It's got a fingerprint reader right in it. And then it has, it's all QR codes. Like we set up your account, they send you a QR code in an email. So then you walk up to the kiosk, you hold up the QR code, it scans it, it loads all your data. You fingerprint yourself, it locks that all in, and then it has an accompanying iPhone app that you take a photo and uploads it to it. So then basically they hold everything in your account now. So you don't ever have to go to the kiosk again. You're done. And what I did is they have a thing called single shot trusts. So they make a trust for every NFA item you go through there. And it's like $25 a piece or $125, I think, for unlimited. So I did the unlimited. And so basically the process goes like this. So I had that suppressor come in, and I didn't even have to buy it from Silencer Shop, because your local dealer can upload their inventory into the Silencer Shop system. And basically, once they do that, you get an email from Silencer Shop that says, hey, you got to do some e-sign stuff. So just like, DocuSign or whatever, you just literally click through the screens.
Wow.
It does all the paperwork. You add the stamp to the cart, you check out, and it marries those to the suppressor, puts all your paperwork together, submits it. They write a check and mail it on your behalf. You do not touch a piece of paper, and you're done.
That's awesome.
So literally, it's click, 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 done. Credit card saved. Everything is there, and then you can see the updates in your account where it'll say like check cashed on this day, and so you can kind of start your timelines from there. And actually, I just saw that they're saying that anything that left after June through Silencer Shop is coming back in 4 months.
I saw as soon as 3 months, some of them.
Yeah, I'm really excited because I just had one through there in September, and I just did another one 2 days ago. So I'm hoping those come in quick. Very
cool. So this is like a long ordeal, though, to plan this article out and get all these ordered and wait. Well,
that's what changed why I'm actually writing, because I've written for a few years now, and I've never really done suppressor stuff because it's really hard to say to somebody that's going to provide it to you for the article, like, hey, send me this thing and I'll write about it in a year. Like nobody's interested in that. But I was able to be added to my buddy Dan's license, so that way I can check out the stuff right away, and his license is at his house. His one license is at his house where his range is at. So I'm able to go there, shoot them, do everything. I can wait for the paperwork. I basically have conjugal visits with the suppressors, and so it just worked out. So it kind of really opened up the doors to me. So it really works good. And he's got another shop in Spokane, Washington called Access Manufacturing. So it's right there. That's where the kiosk is. They have suppressors there for sale. So if anybody needs suppressors in Spokane, Access Manufacturing is the way to go.
Very cool. So let's we'll dive into some more of your projects here in a second. But Patriot Patch Company helps make this episode possible. Zach, did you get your October patch of the month?
I did. I did a cool picture with a P10, I believe, is what I did with it.
A Taurus.
Oh, is it with a Taurus? Yeah, it was a Taurus on that one. Well, I don't have any AKs, and I didn't want to pull out the SKS because that would just be like the pores.
That'd be better than a Taurus.
Well, yeah, you're probably
right. Come on, man. You're killing me. You don't have any AKs? I shot an AK when I visited you.
Yeah, I sold that thing, and that's one of the ones I do actually miss. But I need to get another AK, but I'm at the point where I don't want a cheap AK anymore, and I want an expensive AK. And there's got a lot of other guns I want before I have an expensive AK, so I'm just kind of waiting off on that one.
Anyways, you can sign up for the Patch of the Month Club. You get an exclusive patch, sticker, and artwork card sent to your mailbox every month. Unique designs you can only get through the Patch of the Month Club at patriotpatch.co. All right, main topic. Let's first catch up a little more with what Zach's been up to, his endless silencer projects. And how many projects and project guns did you, over this 5 months, build up, tear down, sell, buy again?
I've been consciously trying not to sell the guns, but I made a huge mistake. I did actually sell a Ruger American 6.5 Creedmoor rifle that I had, because I had built it up, I had made it, it was cool, but it was like, it's still not that nice of a gun, really, when you tear down into it. But I was looking at my YouTube stats. That's one of the more popular videos that I have, because people are interested in the cheap stuff. And I'm like, crap, now I'm going to have to rebuy the gun that I've already sold just to build more content around it. Like I feel like I didn't get enough videos for it before I sold it. But, yeah, that's one. I don't know. I've had a lot of stuff come through my hands since we've last recorded, and I couldn't even tell you where to begin on those.
I'm shocked.
Well, we should say, how many have you bought since then?
None. I haven't had time.
Time. I thought the whole reason to move to this state was for freedom.
I know. I was like, I'll have time and money, and nope, not at all.
Have you pulled a trigger since April?
Actually, I shot my carry gun out here. It's probably been 2 months ago, but I did shoot my. Oh, the first thing I shot out here was my 10-22. I shot a bird that got trapped in the shop with bird shot.
You shot a gun in a building?
Yeah, it's called an indoor shooting range.
Okay, I'll remember that if I come visit you.
It has sheet metal all around the inside, and it only dented it a tiny, tiny bit, one little spot, so it's all good. But
it was enough to kill it?
Oh, yeah, bird shot of a 10-22, yeah.
Yeah, just seems like such a small projectile full of even smaller projectiles.
Yeah, I used to shoot birds all the time as a kid with those. They're pretty good.
Interesting.
But it is pretty great. I can't wait till I actually have time to shoot, because I can shoot on the property. And I actually got permission from the neighbor that owns the land next to us to shoot out farther, where I can shoot, like 100-yard, 200-yard, 300-yard different spots once I get steel targets set up.
That'd be nice. So what you're saying is you're looking for a steel target sponsor.
Yeah. Possibly.
I'm sure there's one out there just waiting to sponsor it. It'll be like fresh and new. They'll be able to sell it when you're done, because you'll never shoot it.
Right. Shut up.
I think what you do is you need to have a portal from the shop that you can stay inside warm and shoot out into the...
Oh, yeah, way ahead of you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? That's what...
Well, I mean, there's a barn behind here that I kind of need to rebuild it, but I was thinking it'd be really cool to have, like, a whole bay of windows on one side that you could shoot out of, and then, like, in another area have, like, a whole reloading area and stuff like that.
Well, didn't you shoot... If you went to that pistol club that was in DeKalb there, right, with me?
Yeah, that's actually that's where I got my Illinois concealed carry.
Okay, yeah, that's basically, they had the cool setup where it was just a bunch of windows. Yeah. They built a bench on the inside of it, so it was level with it, so you could, put a bipod out, or if you had a rifle, but that was mainly a pistol club. And then they had it like a wall, like 6 feet behind that, so then it was kind of segregated from the rest of the clubhouse. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, what else? You took some training classes?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if we ever covered the red dot class that I took. That was cool. I think once we get into the swing of things here, I want to talk about training as a whole, separate. But I've really kind of trying to focus. I know it doesn't sound like it, but this year and 2020, I wanted to take kind of more classes than just buying guns, like more guns, because if you can't effectively deploy them, kind of what's the point,
Right.
But I took a red dot class with Scott Jedlinski of Modern Samurai Project. That was really cool. That was, I was okay with the dot before, but he really teaches you how to be proficient with the dot and get it out and on target and, speed and accuracy, and it was insane. Just biomechanics, like just the simplest things, like pointing your support foot, from my right-handed to my left foot, my left toe at the target, just that little tweak of pointing it right at the target. When you draw, your dot's basically right there. You could splay your foot out left or right a little bit and draw again, and you're not on center of mass anymore.
Yeah.
It's amazing how stuff just like that he teaches you. That was really cool. I'm going to actually take his class again next year when he comes back through Seattle area. I'll just go to the other side of the state to take it. And then I just took was it August? A training class here in Coeur d'Alene with Dave Spalding of Advanced Handgun Combatives. Do you remember me and you interviewed Dave Spalding a long time ago on the OG version of Gun Guy Radio when he came out with his cap sights? And ironically, the gun he was using did not have cap sights on it, which I thought was kind of funny. But he's a great trainer. That class, you kind of see the variety, like where Scott's class was a red dot class, and he was really teaching you about speed and economy of motion coming out and marrying your grip right away, and just kind of that mental mindset. And Dave's class was all about gun fighting. Like there was no shooting. He expected you to come in with a certain level of proficiency of just being able to shoot, and he taught you how to fight and with the pistol. And that was the class where you're, all on the ground and shooting from prone and fetal positions and just crazy stuff that you don't normally, practice. And a lot of one-handed stuff where I really realized I hadn't shot one-handed in quite a while. And,
really?
Yeah, oh yeah, not at all.
Every time I shoot my carry gun, I do at least some one-handed.
Yeah, I do now, yeah. but just like I'm holding, and I use the dot gun on that one too, and I just realized when I'm doing there, I could just see myself shaking because I don't have the support, and I'm so out of shape now too that I'm like I don't have the strength in my arms to like just hold it rock steady like I should be, and it was an eye opener for sure. But yeah, I think we should talk about training in a later episode. But Dave Spalding's class was really cool. I really recommend it. We really lucked out with weather because all the way up until then, it was supposed to rain and be cold and rainy and everything. And you're all over the ground, and I'm like, man, this is not going to be fun. Like if it's like if I'm wet and uncomfortable and in mud, I'm like, this is not going to be fun, like not enjoyable. And the last time I'd been out to that range, I couldn't remember what the ground was, if it was just dirt or whatever. But thankfully we got there, and it was actually pea gravel, like a ton of pea gravel. So going down on your knees and everything, it was super comfortable. Like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
One quick aside too on that. You really get to know where your equipment fails. Like I had a holster that was kind of more of a competition style holster where it had kind of come off my body a little bit and it was kind of dropped down a little bit.
Right.
And it was, it's hard plastic. And when you go roll off onto your right hand side, all your body weight is on that holster. And we were in pea gravel. So then when I rolled back to my back, it scooped up like a shovel, all of those rocks. And it was a Safariland holster that had a little unlocking mechanism, and rocks got in that mechanism and failed. So I just had to pull the holster off, which I had the clip system, so it was easy, and just turn it upside down and do it out. But had I mean, that's not really a fighting then holster, really, right? I mean,
no. Yeah, I wouldn't say so.
But it was really cool. It's just stuff like that you never would try. I mean, when would you train like that? I wouldn't, at least, but it was very cool.
I'm going to start rolling around in my driveway tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I've seen your road. You're going to be sunk in a sinkhole by that point, aren't you?
Pretty much.
Well, we're going to get all to that stuff here quickly. I don't know how we're doing on time. I didn't really pay attention, but
okay. What you've been testing some R700 triggers too?
Yeah, that I have a Bergara HMR Pro and 6.5 Creedmoor. That's what I sold the Ruger American, and I bought this gun because I'm like, okay, I like long range. I want a good one now. So I bought a chassis and the action, and I got all that stuff. And
cool.
The trigger they included with them is a Trigger Tech primary, which is actually a really nice trigger. It uses I think it's ball bearings in there, so the sear and the it would be the hammer, I guess, don't engage directly. There's a kind of a roller bearing inside there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
They call it a frictionless release technology.
Yeah.
And it's a good trigger that they sent it with, but the one that is, it only goes down to 1.5 pounds. It's a 1.5 to 4 pound adjustable trigger. And so I kind of had the hankering for a little bit lighter trigger because this gun is just a pure bench rest gun. And so I got the Trigger Tech Diamond trigger, which is the same technology, but it goes down to like ounces, very, very low. Yeah. And so while I was there, I'm like, well, let's go get some other triggers. So I did, I think 5 or 6 triggers. I did stock, whatever a Remington comes with. I did, just a whole lot. I think I put a video link in there if you want to see it. I actually did it scientifically on our machine, that trigger scan machine at work, where it actually has a calibrated load cell. It pulls the trigger for you. It graphs the trigger on there. I did a whole video on it. I'm going to probably put that into a print article, print or a online article as well. But I got the videos up right now, and that's a lot of good info because it's, those triggers are $300 or $270, something like that's a lot of money for somebody to spend with no data and really knowledge about it. So there's a lot of different triggers for a lot of different uses, and I think there's something for everybody. And in that video, you can kind of see what you're getting into before you lay your money down. Yeah,
that's a great idea. I mean, like with anything else, you always want to see what's on YouTube and stuff before you buy it.
Exactly. That's where I didn't actually think anybody watched these videos, but I actually got a message on Instagram last week, was like, a guy's like, hey, I just want to let you know that your video on the 1022 Chargers actually inspired me to build the one similar to what you did and everything. I was like, aw.
And you're playing around with some CZs too, I see.
Oh yeah. I've gone full CZ here. I had that P10 that was fully worked over for that article. I think we've seen that before. But that was an iron sight gun. Yeah. And that gun was just too pretty to machine. I really wanted to dot on it, but it was just perfect. Pike over at Mod 1 did a really great job on it. And I felt bad about cutting it and doing all that. So I just ordered another one. So I got and thankfully in that time frame from the time I got the first one to the new ones, they came out with the optics ready versions already. Oh, yeah. So it was already pre-cut. Cool. I had all that. So I had the P10S, which is a subcompact, and I like that a lot. That's what I used at Dave Spalding's class, which is just like a 12 round, same concept for everything, shorter barrel and everything. And then I finally got the compact version in stock. So I put a Delta Point Pro on that one. So I figured since it's a full size gun, I'll go with the biggest dot I got, bigger dot. So I'm actually really liking it. So that gun is awesome. Cool. We'll see a lot more content with that one.
I think you just outlined our next 4 episodes.
Yeah, basically.
I can vicariously live through Zach until I can get these projects under control and actually go have some fun.
Yeah.
I need to get my South Dakota gold carry card because that allows you to walk in, walk out without doing anything.
Well, that's how Washington was. And they just changed the laws because of assault weapons. And so I have a concealed carry permit, and we used to be able to just call it in and walk out with everything, and it was no big deal. Now they have to send it to the sheriff's office, and they have up to 10. Yep. They have up to 10 days to approve it.
Jeez.
And I still have a pistol waiting, but that Taurus that I've got, it took 9 days to get approved. So it's just
sounds like it's
so ridiculous.
Time to move back over to the Idaho side.
Yeah, there's pros and cons. I think Washington is still better overall for my situation, but there's definitely what I need is like a P.O. box over there.
I don't think you can do that.
Maybe. I can have a bill sent there.
This is not legal advice. Seek your own attorney's advice when buying guns.
Well, speaking of crossing state lines, I am dying to hear about this move. Take us back to April.
Well, we loaded up the wagons, and only two of us died of dysentery.
See, when you move, I was thinking more like Beverly Hillbillies, like sitting nanny at grandma up on top of the rocking chair.
It was pretty close because, it came down to it, and I actually had to have my mom drive a U-Haul because I got the biggest U-Haul truck you can get. And that wasn't enough, so we got the next size. My mom didn't want to drive another one of the biggest ones, but
those are like 28 foot, right? Something like that. 24 foot, something like that.
20. I think the biggest is 26, 28, and then the one my mom drove was 24.
So you lived in a like 1,200 square foot house, right? Beforehand.
Well, I mean. Yeah,
something like that.
Counting the basement would be about double that, but yeah.
How did you get so much crap to not fit in a big old U-Haul?
We didn't take the couch. We didn't take some of the beds. We didn't take some of the dressers. I mean, we got rid of a ton of stuff, and still, it's just crazy. And I had garage sales out at my shop, and I blew out all the inventory I could possibly blow out and pared down. I mean, I still have stuff in Illinois. I have to get a trailer this next spring to bring back. But it's insane. A family of 7. I mean, it's 7 times the clothes. I mean, a lot of clothes.
Huh. Man, that'd make me have anxiety, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. But yeah, we got out here okay, and got unloaded, and basically we have this pretty nice machine shed that's somewhat finished out in the inside and has a loft. So we basically threw all of our boxes into the loft because we're still working on remodeling parts of the house and building out the shop and stuff. So that's fun.
So did the move go okay when you, like the physical driving across state lines and all that, relays and all that? Because how many cars, you had only to get one car moved, right? Didn't you sell one before you left?
Well, yeah. So right before, like the day or two before we were pulling out, my Suburban wouldn't start. It was just
well, this is my shocked face.
It was nothing. It was just like I changed the battery. That wasn't it. Just no click, no nothing, no sign of life whatsoever. And like I was down to the wire. Like I didn't have more than a half an hour to mess with it after I figured out it was just pretty much, dead like that. So I ended up throwing it up on Facebook Marketplace and got rid of it. Some guy came that same day with the trailer and hauled it off, and I was like, I don't have time to worry about it. So
did he ever message you back what it was? It was like, oh, the battery terminal came off, and haha, sucker.
No, I check the simple stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't know what it was. I think it was probably something to do with anti-theft, is my guess, because the person before had an aftermarket anti-theft. And then that also had the stock anti-theft. And I thought I'd ripped all of the aftermarket out of there over the last few years. But that's my best guess, is something, I don't know, crossed a wire somewhere and just randomly wouldn't, engage anything.
Well, that's when you really got to roll with the punches. Jeez, if you're down to that wire and what are you supposed to do? I mean, other than selling it, there's no way to pull it.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't have a choice. I mean, so whatever, it was an older Suburban, so I ended up buying a Yukon XL just about like it once we got out here. So that worked out, and it's actually a little nicer. Still, both had high mileage, but it works.
Where you're living now, do they have all the salt and crap on the roads that eats cars away, or do cars last out there?
Well, I mean, there's really rusty stuff out here, just like in Illinois, but you do see a lot more older stuff. You see a lot of square bodies, where in Illinois you hardly ever see that anymore. So you do see some stuff that has lasted, but yeah, they use salt and stuff. So
yeah, I can't believe how much those square bodies are getting nowadays. Out here, they're still nice condition, and they want like $8,000 for an 84. It's like, are you kidding me? It still sounds like a sardine can when you're driving on the road. It's like, they're not nice, but whatever. Anyway, so you got moved there besides the truck going down?
So yeah, didn't get pulled over or anything. The move, driving out went all right. We did it in two, we got going so late, we stayed the night. So, but
were you paranoid about leaving a U-Haul in a hotel parking lot?
Well, I scoped out Google Maps and like Google Street View. I'm like, what kind of part of town is this in? And I had it scoped out ahead of time best I could.
Yeah, that would always freak me out. That's actually why I never stopped when I moved out here, because I had a crappy trailer that was made out of plywood too, though, so they could have easily just cut it open. But I ran in one shot, but that's hard to do. So you get all the way over there, and to be fair to people that have listened and this is their first episode. I'm sorry, we're doing a lot of non-gun talk here, but Jenny, your wife, did not see the house before you purchased it, right? In person.
No. She did not see it in person.
So you closed on the house yourself, right?
No.
Did they have a courier come to your house in Illinois or something?
No, we closed out here. When we got here, that next morning we actually came out here with the realtor, and so that was the first time Jenny saw the house, and we walked through it all, and then we went to the close after that. So she was in it before we closed.
So she got 10 minutes to view it before before ink was hitting paper.
I feel like you're trying to start something here.
No, whose
side are you on?
I'm not picking any sides. I just can't believe she let you.
She is a wonderful, wonderful woman.
Apparently. Wow, I can't fathom it. Like it just boggles my mind, but it worked obviously. And so, what was her reaction to the house when she saw it?
It's not like she was jumping up and down, but it's not like she totally hates it.
Could she see the vision?
You know, that's a funny thing with her. Like, she'll watch like the Property Brothers shows, you know, the remodeling shows, and like it's hard for her to like have the same perspective as when she's watching those shows. But I mean, we're getting there. We're making improvements and stuff. She was really spoiled, I think, with our place, because it was a practically pretty new house when we moved in the place in Illinois, and then this is a 100-plus-year-old farmhouse, so it's quite a bit different.
And the house she grew up in was a new house at the time when her parents moved in too.
Yeah, so she's only ever known like nice newer homes.
So she doesn't even like know what plaster is and stuff.
Yeah, well, and I grew up in a 100-year-old farmhouse with the plaster and everything falling down, and we lucked out with this place. This place, the plaster had been ripped out, like 20 years ago, and all sheetrock put in. And
that's good.
All the electric was redone. 200 amp box was put in. All the plumbing was redone. All the fixtures were redone.
Is it all redone to your standard? Like, are you okay with it all?
No, I mean, yes and no. I mean, like the kitchen, I'll have to redo the sink, and there's like no garbage disposal. And so far what I've done is kind of reconfigure the downstairs, because they had kind of a goofy floor plan where the pantry was actually off the living room and not off the kitchen.
That's odd. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. And then the laundry room was off the kitchen where the pantry should have been. And then the bathroom on the first floor was just huge. It was kind of ridiculous. And so I switched the pantry and the laundry, or reconfigured so the bathroom was smaller, and then the pantry was where the laundry room was, where the pantry should be, and then built kind of a new laundry room. And it also enabled me to open up the house where you can walk all the way around, like do a circle around the first floor, where you couldn't do that before. But it was at one time laid out that way anyways. So in some ways it was bringing it back to how it was, and other ways it was just improving it. So like the bathroom, I did a new shower, new toilet, new floor, new wall. And then we just got a new deep freezer in the pantry, and I'm doing this big wall of built-in cabinets for the pantry. I got about 2/3 of that up.
So how do you prioritize something like this when you move in, and it's just because you have to live in it? I mean, it's not like you're, just taking up as a project to do when there's time. Like, you're living in it.
I feel like
you live.
Yeah, I feel like a chicken with a head cut off constantly, because it's like, got to fix this in the house. Got to get this done in the shop. Got to fix this in the house. Got to fix this on the chicken barn. There's always like some crisis or something where I got to run and fix something. Like my youngest son, he broke out 3 of the windows in the chicken house. So
doing what?
Just
throwing rocks or something?
Yeah, I don't know what he used, but he got mad at the world, and
hey, he's a little Jake. That's how you know he's yours.
Right.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So, and how did the kids like it? Speaking of,
kids love it. I mean, the kids love the wide open space and everything. And because we were in town, we were in between, fairly close to two houses and not a big yard at all. And out here, they've got acres to run around on, and they have cats and chickens now where we couldn't have pets before. So they're loving it. I mean, now the weather just yesterday turned cold, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, see how stir crazy they get in the winter?
Yeah.
Huh. Are these inside cats or outside cats?
Outside.
Okay.
No inside cats.
I was going to say, that seems not like you.
No inside animals. No, thank you.
So they're liking it. And how does the schooling and stuff go in there? Is there enough, you have a separate area for schooling and stuff, or how does that work?
Well, it's kind of like it wasn't back in the old place. Jenny's homeschooling in the living room, dining room, best she can right now until I get a space built out. And then our oldest son actually is going to public school this year. He wanted to give it a shot, so we let him.
How far is the school from your house?
It's pretty close. It's, I don't know, the nearest town at the school is like 5 miles, 6 miles.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm envisioning you in like a I don't know, like a Book of Eli situation or something, just like full.
It's kind of like that. I mean, Walmart is 30 minutes away, so I mean,
that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. But I mean, any like auto parts store or anything like that, anything that serious I have to get is at least half hour away, which isn't terrible, but things are a lot more spread out here.
Well, with your choice in vehicles, how can you survive a 30-minute parts store run?
I know, right? That's why I'm slowly getting more. I had to get a plow truck. I picked up at an auction, an old plow truck. So that's another option.
What is it?
It's a 94 Chevy 3/4 ton long box.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Is it 350 in it or 454?
350.
There you go. That's basically what my brother has. I used to have one of those. My brother 91, I think, or 92 I had, but that's cool. Okay, so kids love it. So you made it there. Do you feel freer?
Yes. It's kind of surreal. I mean, for one, it's the landscapes and everything, because, once you get out here, it's kind of more that big sky country, not as much as Montana, but I mean, it starts to open up. And so, and we've got really great views here too on off our property. But I mean, there's just not as many people, and like, you never really see law enforcement. So you can speed a lot, and South Dakota has one of the faster speed limits anyway. So that's, as far as that goes, yeah. It's just different. Like every little store you walk into, they'll sell like a few boxes of ammo. Like, they might not have a huge selection, but they'll have a few different things.
So if something needs killing, you're only within a few minutes of the store to get something.
Right. It's pretty cool, and like everyone knows everyone. So like you start to introduce yourself, and you'll get like 3 words in. You're like, oh, you're that family.
I'd say you're probably the talk of the town.
Well,
you see that army of kids that's coming through?
Apparently we were the talk of the town before we got here, because rumors were flying that this family from Illinois was moving here, and then it evolved into this family from Chicago was moving here. And then it evolved into this black family from Chicago was moving here.
Wow. So you're in a town of racists is what you're saying. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, there's probably not a lot of diversity where you're living, I'm assuming.
No, not. Well, that was one of Jenny's concerns, is like it's not as diverse. But yeah, every time we're at Walmart and I see a person with another color, I'm like, hey, Look.
Mark that one down in the book.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be like a bird spotting book where you like check them off as you see them. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't shop at Walmart anymore. You shouldn't either.
I don't really have a choice. Where am I going to go?
Amazon. You get everything delivered.
Not everything.
Oh, you can get just about everything.
Not everything.
Okay, so speaking of the community, are you making ties there? I mean, do you feel like you're part of the community, or are you kind of like the survivalist prepper with a bomb shelter made out of a bus?
Well, that is my goal. That is my vision for the future, of course. But, well, for one, we've got really great neighbors. Like, when you're moving somewhere, like, you know, maybe if it's local, you can kind of scope out the neighbors better. But if you're moving long distance, it's really hard for you to get, you know, unless it's like a complete trailer trash situation, you can be like, oh, yeah, that's what they're like. It's kind of hard to know what the neighbors are actually like. But we're, you know, really lucked out. We have great neighbors all the way around us. And so that, I mean, that was super cool. And like, you know, some of them have gone out of their way to help us out with things. And the community is definitely a lot more close-knit here because there are less people in there. I don't know. It seems like they're more patriotic. They're more, you know, just all the way around more, I don't know, American.
Yeah. Well, you're looking at that through the Illinois lens, which is pretty polarizing.
Right. Well, it's like, yeah, people in Illinois are just like, I hate myself. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, well, their fillings are getting knocked loose driving down the pothole-filled roads. They're thinking, hey, I pay way more in taxes to make these roads than I do, and everything's more expensive, and nothing is better. So, yeah, I can understand their plight.
Like the internet kind of doesn't exist out here yet to a lot of people, so you got to get used to that. And like some people don't seem to know what credit cards are still.
So you're saying you're not using Apple Pay anywhere, pretty much,
right? Yeah, no Apple Pay for sure. Well, so get this: the water. We have rural water actually out here, where the water out here is so hard that back in the 70s they ran water lines to everywhere they could, and so it's kind of like having city water, but you're way out on a farm. And they pump it up from the Missouri River. They filter it and pump it up. So anyways, I have a water meter in the basement, and it's like on the honor system. You read the meter yourself the first of the month, and you fill out like this form, and you send it in. Like it's totally up to you to read your own meter and everything, which is just like, that's, you know.
It's the honor system.
So bizarre. And there's so many other things like that. So when I got out here, Jenny had to go back with two of the girls to do events they still had in Illinois. So they went back for about 2 weeks or something. And so I had to get a vehicle right away because she was taking the van back. I didn't have anything. And so I went to look through a few of the local dealers, and I found this Yukon that I could pay cash for. All I had was an out-of-state check with me, and they took it no problem. Like I dealt with the owner actually, and he was very welcoming and everything, and he like didn't think anything of it. And like Illinois, you try writing a check anywhere, and it's like no checks. That's all you see in Illinois. And out here, it's like all they take. And then there was something else big I bought when my checks still said they were out of state. I forget what that was too. And it was like, you know, no problem, sure.
That's crazy. Well, but you're getting good internet there. That's right. How does the internet work? But the water. You are
so red with envy that I've got fiber optic internet and you don't.
I am. I'm on cable internet finally, thankfully, so I'm at least there. But yeah, the fiber. I can't believe. Like, who pays for that? Like, how do they get their money back by running fiber to the boonies like that?
Well, it's the local phone company that's been here like 100 years. They're just running fiber everywhere. I guess early on they saw that was the future and they were smart and started dropping it everywhere. I mean, like a lot of South Dakota has fiber. which is just, I know it's crazy to think about because our neighborhood and back in Illinois just got fiber when we were leaving, and we're what, 60 miles from Chicago.
Yeah.
In one of the more populated counties in the state. And yet they were just getting fiber then, where they've had fiber out here for like a decade.
The only thing that makes sense to me in my mind, and I'm sure a listener will correct us if it's wrong, but like, was there a grant of some sort to get rural internet out there at some point along the way, or was the leases to get the line laid cheaper back in certain times, so like it wasn't a big deal to run it? Because I know the one where our office has fiber, and we're in the boonies of North Idaho too, and there's a fiber all the way down to Spokane, which is where the backbone is. And the guy, when I talked to him before, this is back when we were like 2013 or whatever, he goes, yeah, back in the 80s or 90s, he laid a bunch of fiber along the highway and just left it dark forever. But because he knew eventually it'd be important. And then he had finally enough customers to light it up, basically. So then we were one of the ones that actually got it turned on from the road to the building. Like, we had to pay for it to be put in there. But I could think that makes sense. Like, okay, yeah, maybe something like that. But it's just mind-boggling. But it's great if you got great internet. And I'm surprised it doesn't make it like a mecca for geo arbitrage for people. Like why are you not filled with San Francisco tech guys that live in?
Oh, don't tell them. No, shut up. Shh. No. God, no.
Hey, all you Facebook employees, like, why don't you head to beautiful South Dakota?
Well, I mean, it's great for anyone that works from home like I do, anyone that telecommutes. I mean, look into South Dakota where you've got fiber. You can live anywhere you want. It's
taxes are low. Everything's, you get all the benefits of that plus the good internet. And yeah, I'm surprised. So speaking of telecommuting, how did the business go? How did the transition go? Obviously you're not able to focus on everything as much because you still have all these projects. So did your employees help pick up some slack, or your partners, whatever you want to call them?
Employees? I don't have any stinking employees.
I got 5 of them.
Oh, my kids. Well, the slave labor camp is going well. And child labor laws are lacking in South Dakota. Which
yeah. Well, you call it homeschooling,
right? Get back to work.
Yeah. So these patches don't.
Daddy, I want to learn how to spell. No.
Velcro's more important. Keep sewing. So how is the business going? Give us a big sit rep on that.
Oh, it's going pretty good. Like you said, I don't have the time to focus on it. So that's the biggest detriment right now, is I can't focus on new stuff and growing it as much as I'd like. And just the lack of workspace really sucks. So it's kind of almost a holding pattern, which really sucks. But I really can't do anything else right now. But it's going great. We have really great following and, group of Patch of the Month Club subscribers, which is really great.
That's where the money is at, right? If you know that they're subscribing and they're going to be there month after month.
Yeah, it really is cool to have a following like that and be able to bring them really cool designs every month.
That's awesome. Well, is there anything we missed in your Pee-wee's Big Adventure there?
It has been a big adventure. I wish I could articulate that more.
Did you photograph the evidence? Like, have you been taking photos along the way in all this? Not for posting, but just for yourself, so you can look back on this 50 years from now.
I've been trying. I'm not as good at it as Jenny is, but I've been trying to. I should shoot you some of them, but yeah, I'm not. I haven't been posting anything online. I'm just don't have the time or in the mood usually.
Yeah, a time lapse of you building out that shop would have been fantastic to see. Just a sped up video of you struggling to hold a piece of wood up.
I did some of those. Now that you mention that, I did some time lapse videos of that with the old shop.
Did you?
I don't know if I still have them, but yeah, I did that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see.
Yeah.
So when are you starting your second career as a DIY video host?
Jeez. I always I always thought, doing remodels and stuff would be something I could do, but it's just, I don't know if it's because it's my own stuff.
That's part of it.
Is that what makes it so bad that, like, I think part of it is that I thought we'd be, all done with all this by now, and I've got just all winter and all next year probably working on stuff. And it probably makes it sound like we just moved into a place that's fallen down and just a rundown hole in the ground. But
no, just making it your own takes time and effort.
Yeah, it's a really nice place. We're really blessed to find it, and I think a lot of people could move in, especially with a smaller family, could move in and not really make a lot of changes right away. But because, I have the whole business and everything, I need the workspace, and it just adds a whole nother layer to the onion.
I'm fairly handy, and I don't think I'm cut out for that too. Like, when we caught this house when studs were going, or when drywall was going up, and we were able to, pick the rest of it out, and that was exhausting enough. Just picking finishes and fixtures and colors and trims and all that. That was enough. And I thought, for our next house, we could use. There's a company out here called Adair Homes where you build the house with them, but like you're responsible to have the excavation done and all that, and then they bring in their form crews. You're responsible for painting everything and stuff. You could hire it out, but most of the people do it themselves to save money. So the theory is you move in with like over 20% equity just right off the bat because you saved all that money doing the work yourself. Right. And I thought, that's perfect. I could afford a way bigger house and stuff. And I was like, after doing this house, I'm like, I don't think so. I think I'd rather pay somebody to do it. Like, I don't want that stress.
Yeah, it is stressful. It's just so much work, but it'll be worth it in the long haul. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be a neat space.
Well, you got 12 little beady eyes looking back at you to see if anything's done and all that, just watching you work. It's crazy. I'm glad it worked out though. I'm glad you got it in there, and you've got a studio enough so we can do the show again and be millionaires in the podcasting industry. Oh
yes, yeah. Get that podcasting money rolling in.
Yeah. Well, the hard part is we got the sponsorship, but he doesn't pay worth it because.
I don't have my timestamp pen.
Oh, because I swore.
But yeah, we're gonna have a lot more Gun Guy Radio episodes down the road. I guess we do this because we like doing it. I don't know why we do this.
I don't know either. You roped me into it. That's why.
No. These past 5 months, you've been like, Jake, when are we doing this again? Come on. We got to do this again. Zach was all gung-ho. I'm like, I can't. I don't have a space.
I don't know if this sounds like blasphemy, but I've actually even considered, like, should I get a job outside of the industry so that way it's fun again? Like, because I work in the industry, then I come home and I work on articles or videos and planning stuff. Then I'm doing this with you, and like it's just gun.
That's why you got to start your home improvement show.
Will you be my Al Bundy or my Al Borland?
We can do crappy shortcuts to okay houses or something like that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Or this one thing leads to 12 other disasters that you have to fix.
Yeah, Whack-A-Mole the House Edition. Right.
Patriot Patch Company helps make this episode possible. And check out, we got some new designs up in stock. We got a big 1911 patch, Patriot 45 auto patch.
How come it's not jammed?
Yeah, shut up. And we have a Aim for the Head zombie patch, and then we have some radioactive patch series too. I don't have those in front of me, but those are in stock. And we have some Halloween patches that are shipping next week. Some ghost gun patches shipping next week. Check it out, patriotpatch.co. And also check out Ryan Cross Hunter Design. He's a design genius behind Patriot Patch. But if you need design work, websites, artwork, anything, check out hunterofdesign.com.
Soon to be daddy, Ryan Cross.
Yeah, congrats, Ryan. Well, remember to subscribe to us in iTunes so you never miss a show. Leave us a review there. Subscribe to the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network. And also go check out Zach's Instagram, YouTube, his articles, Facebook. Everything's in the show notes. Well, that's about a wrap. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you. See you next week.
All right. We'll see you next week.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.